Hello and welcome to Cole's Backyard Coop. Today we're going to talk about nest boxes. We have ours mounted to the wall here in the coop. They're approximately 2 feet off the ground. 1 to 2 feet is always good to hang your nest boxes so that they don't kick shavings and things into the box. And it gives them a little privacy up off the ground from the other hens when they're laying their eggs. We have 6 nest boxes that we built ourselves. We looked online and got ideas, and instead of ordering them online, we decided to build our own. So my husband got some plywood and some boards and put together some nice nest boxes for us that I painted green. Now, the dimensions of your nest box will vary according to the size hens you have. I've always had standard size hens, which means they'll grow to full size. They're not bantams. So the dimensions of each nest box is 12 by 12 and then about 2 feet tall, I would say. And then the top roof of the box is sloped so that they won't get up there and roost. I've never had an issue with them roosting in the boxes at night. They always sleep right over here on the perches very nicely. So I've seen where some people complain about their chickens pooping in the boxes because they roost at night, but thankfully I've never had that issue. By putting your boxes only 1 to 2 feet off the ground and putting your perches that they sleep on much higher, they'll always go for the higher roost to sleep. If your boxes are really high off the ground, then they'll think that that's a good spot to sleep on. So keep the boxes always lower than your roosting perches for nighttime sleeping. Looking at the boxes, you're going to see that there are eggs in each box. Well, those eggs are ceramic eggs, dummy eggs, that I ordered online off of eBay. I've placed 1 egg in each box. And that way, when these girls start to lay, it's going to inspire them to lay in the boxes and give them a point of reference, if you will, on where to go to lay the eggs. They will get in there. It's their nature to kind of nestle the eggs. I've watched them, and if you've ever seen yours, they will get in the box. Before they start to lay, they'll kind of start to pretend to lay. They'll get in there and they'll kind of hollow out the nest a little bit, and if there's an egg in there, they'll kind of push it underneath them and kind of nurture it a little bit. It's all part of their instinctive act of being in the nest. So then they'll kind of get out of the nest, and then it's not time for them to lay yet, but they're kind of getting close to the point of laying. So I put a ceramic egg in every nest, and it looks like a real egg. It's a little weightier than a real egg, but I always make them white when I buy the artificial eggs, because my hens will lay green or brown eggs. I don't have any hens that will lay white eggs, so it will be easy for me to distinguish the fake egg from the real eggs. They do sell the artificial eggs in brown, and I've seen where some people use golf balls, painted Easter eggs, like the plastic colored Easter eggs. If you have success with those, you can try it. I opted to use something that looks a lot more natural, so I ordered the ceramic eggs online. I got some nice signs to put above the nest boxes, and just for decoration, and in addition to the signs, I put my grandmother's washboard there too, so you could put some antique-y type things and just something decorative like that above your nest if you have a wall that you can hang them on. Having some nice nest boxes, it's worth spending time to either build or buy proper nesting boxes for your hens. You'll see online or hear different places that you only need 1 box for every 3 to 4 hens. I have 7 hens and I opted to have 6 boxes. I've had times where 4 of the girls will get in there at once, and I'd rather have too many nest boxes than too few. So technically, if we were going by the rule, for my 7 hens, I would only have 1 nest box, or 2 at the most, probably 2 nest boxes. I felt like 2 is not enough, so I just gave 6 nest boxes, and I feel better about it, and they don't have to crowd and stand in line waiting to lay an egg. If you have bantam chickens, you could do half the size nest boxes. You don't have to do the 12 by 12. You could probably do 6 by 8, 6 by 6. You could do the 12 by 12 just to give them extra room. But if they're really small bantams, you won't need that much room, and it'll take up less space. Nesting material, I use hay that I get at the feed store. They sell it in bags instead of buying a whole bale. I can get a bag of hay for $1, and I usually get 2 or 3 bags just to keep it on hand. And the girls love it. Some people, again, they will use shavings, pine shavings in the nest boxes. I don't like that because I use pine shavings on the bottom floor of the coop, as you can see. And I would rather break it up and not have the same thing in the nest boxes. Plus, the hay is a little more natural to the hens. When they're in the nest boxes laying, they pull the nesting material around them and onto their back. And the hay, you'll notice they'll just kind of bring it in closer to their body to feel more nestled and secure. And I like the hay for that reason as well. And plus, it's easy to clean the nest boxes. Again, my girls do not poop in the box. The eggs that they lay stay very clean in the box. Another good reason to invest in setting up the right nesting area, because your eggs will stay clean, and then you do not have to wash the eggs to get poop or dirt off of them. And that's really important because eggs are coated with a natural film that the chicken's body produces. It's called a bloom. And if you wash the egg, you're taking that natural barrier off the egg. And eggs that are laid fresh like this, you do not have to refrigerate for up to 2 months. You can leave them out on your counter, room temperature, in a basket like I do for up to 2 months. You do not have to put them in the refrigerator if they're laid fresh. If they're already refrigerated, like from the store, then you're going to need to refrigerate them when you bring them home. But if they're laid fresh, you can keep them on the counter for up to 2 months. Our eggs never last 2 months, so it's really easy for us to go through the eggs in a week at most, maybe 2. So they're always fresh and on the counter. Most people don't know that you don't technically have to refrigerate eggs, because you usually eat your eggs in less than 2 months. It doesn't take that long. So it's important to to give them a nest box where they can lay the eggs that'll stay clean. And by not washing that bloom off, you're preventing bacteria from getting into the egg. And that keeps your egg a lot fresher, and it's going to keep it tastier as well. Nothing better than a fresh, natural egg for breakfast or dinner. My girls are 12 weeks old now, and I've noticed that they've started to get up in front of the nest and kind of look a little bit. When they get to be 4 or 5 months old, they're going to start to kind of jump onto the perch in front of the nest. You always want to give them a place to stand so that they can choose which nest box they want to go into, as I did above as well. And they will start to look into the nest and get inquisitive about the nest as they get closer and closer. Around anywhere from 5 to 6 months, you could get your first egg. And then you'll notice that they may get into the box and what I call play. Get in there and kind of move around and hollow out an area, and I can kind of tell. And then they'll get out. They're not actually laying the egg yet. And then, what are you girls doing over here? And one day you'll kind of come in and look, and there'll be your first egg there, which is very exciting. So take the time to look online, get some ideas about nest boxes. Feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions. It's well worth using the right thing for them to lay their eggs in. I've seen where some people use a bucket. They don't use anything at all. They use a egg crate. Don't skimp on their nesting area. Really give them a good place for them to lay. If you buy a prefabricated coop that comes with the nest box attached, that's great. And by teaching the girls to lay in the right place, giving them a nest box, it's going to keep them from laying on the ground and outside in the dirt, and really open yourself up for some dirty eggs and broken eggs, and then you run into the risk of them eating their own eggs, and you really want to prevent all of that. Well, thank you for watching the video today. I hope it gave you some ideas. If you're thinking about having some chickens and you weren't sure about nesting boxes, I hope this gave you some ideas and some good information. From Cole's Backyard Coop, thank you for watching the video. Have a great day and happy chicken keeping.